Hi everyone. This is a video about multi-agent systems. I feel very, very strongly that in go-to-market, the world that we're going to end up in is not going to be one where there are agents that are basically built on one platform. Example, let's say Agent Force, and they kind of are self-contained, and that's all they need. The reality is that the data that we work with in go-to-market is spread across multiple systems. There are many SaaS applications, each of them to their and are building agents to kind of solve some aspects of workflows within their applications. They all have some data which is relevant to other applications. And what I see happening is a world where you're going to have agents that basically talk to other agents from different systems. And so in this kind of multi-agentic world, I wanted to take an example and see if I could show something that demonstrates how this works. And I also wanted to build something myself. And so a friend of mine came to me recently. He was in a job search and he had a list of companies he was looking at, and he was looking for jobs with certain titles at those companies. And so two things he wanted. One is he wanted to get some high level research done on those particular companies, like, when were they founded? What about their funding? Where are they based out of? Just standard kind of company information. And the other piece he wanted was for certain roles that he was interested in, could I go and search the web to find out if those roles were advertised and if they had any open roles? As you can imagine, a lot of the companies don't have open roles, especially for senior positions. And so normally the way he would have done it is take a company, go do a lot of research, put it all into an Excel sheet, then go search for jobs and if they have or don't have, and like kind of list it out. And he wanted to see if I could automate this process. And so uh, to solve this, I used a combination of Clay and Agent AI. And the reason for this is Clay is extremely, extremely good at list processing. And so if you have like 150 companies, Clay is great at it. I actually tried doing this with deep research because why not? It's there, and if it could do it, and I didn't have to build any of this stuff, life would be easy and great. Deep research worked great if I gave it like 5 companies, 10 companies, it would go and find that out. The moment I went into 100 companies, it just, after some time, it just gives up and doesn't, it starts hallucinating. And what Clay does really well is I can load the 100 companies and then each row kind of runs by itself. And so it spawns like 100 jobs in parallel that it goes and calls uh, and then gets the results back and then puts it in there. I could have done this entire workflow, I think, in Clay. Clay's got the ability to enrich company data. It's also got the ability to go find jobs within a company for a particular role, but all of those cost credits in Clay. And I was trying to do this by not using any Clay credits. And the way I'm able to do it is because Agent AI is exposing all their functionality and their agents and their get data APIs for free as part of their business model. Being incubated out of HubSpot, they have a very unique business model in that they're trying to build a marketplace, and because HubSpot has relatively deeper pockets than most startups, they can subsidize this for now, and they are looking to build these multi-agentic systems and encouraging builders like me to build workflows like this that span systems, so that more and more of us can build useful applications. Um, and so first I'll show you how this works, and then we'll go and talk about how it was built. And so here I have a list of my companies, and let's say I take this one. And so currently you'll see there's no information over here. And so my first call here is going to go get the company details, which is the company name, the domain, the description, location, employee count, most recent funding, industry they're in, revenue, LinkedIn URL, competitors, and then, I run this through a validation process to basically say, hey, go check to make sure this data is accurate. And so it tells me, like, how confident it is about the data it got back. And then I get a lot of the social media URLs for it. And then these are the titles. So he's interested in either CMO roles, SVP marketing roles, or VP marketing roles. Um, and what I'm doing is basically calling agents to go find out if these roles are open. And then it'll show up here as either open roles or it'll show you what the role is. So let's go run this for a company. Let's say I do this for this ATN. So all I need to do in Clay, this is the beauty of Clay, is I just click it run here. And now what Clay is going to do is it is going to call an agent AI agent. The first agent is going to go, basically in this case, go get the company details. And so if you want to see what that looks like while this is loading, you can go to edit column and actually come back with the results. You'll notice all I do is pass it the endpoint, and I'll show you where in Agent AI this is exposed. I pass the information. This is what the variable that Agent.AI agent takes, and then that's it. I mean, it's pretty easy to set up. It's the HTTP API, and this is the beauty of Clay. It just makes it so easy to call these. And so if we now go look at what came back. So it gives me the name of the company. So you see, my friend gave me a list which wasn't completely, proper names and all that. So I go clean up the name, get the domain, a little description, where are they based out of, how many, blah, 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 what the LinkedIn URL for the company is, who their competitors are, what the employee count. It tells me how confident it is about the data it got back, and it seems pretty confident, how much total funding, what the YouTube URL is, Twitter URL is, all this information. Then I have another agent that basically goes and looks and sees if there are any open roles, and it's basically coming back and saying there are no open roles. And so this again is yet another agent call from Clay to Agent AI, different endpoint. And basically, in this case, I'm passing the company and the title, I'm passing title one, and then it comes back with a result. And in this case, it came back and said that there were no open roles. And so then I do it for title two and title three. And so three different API calls to Agent AI to get the open roles, and then another call to go find the company information. What this looks like on the Agent AI side is I have my two agents here. One is, and so this is an example of like the agent when you run it. You can go find it. Anybody can go find this agent. It's Agent AI, agent company details. If you have this URL, and I'll put it in the LinkedIn post, what you'll see, and in my YouTube post, you can go access this. I tell you exactly how to get to the API and tell you what to do. And this is kind of what the result looks like. When you run it, it'll come back and it returns a JSON object, which is what Clay needs. And so that's why the output looks like this, but structured output with information about the company. And similarly, this is another one for this particular company looking for a VP of marketing. It goes and it found the VP of marketing. It's a vice president national market lead, and this is the URL. And in this case, it's like an Indeed job. So it goes and looks at jobs in different places. Uh, and so that's kind of how the agent was created. If we were to go look at the actual agent itself, once you build the agent, if you go to the trigger, you enable the webhook, and it automatically creates a URL to post the information to, tells us what the inputs it needs are, so that you can then go run your agent. And then the actual actions for my agent, in this case, take the name, take the titles, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff I'm doing in terms of going and for those titles, searching one by one, go find if there are any jobs for the list of jobs. Then I loop through it and make sure that these are actual valid jobs and stuff like that. And so it's a pretty elaborate workflow, as you can imagine. Kind of building this all in Clay. If I had to build this using AI in Clay, it would just be cumbersome. Now Clay automatically does a lot of this, and so it's got a provider find jobs, so it's much easier. But then again, that costs credit. So hopefully you get an idea of how these multi-agent systems can collaborate. How I've now built agents in Agent AI that are being called by Clay, and then Clay does something else, and then calls another agent that does something else, and then basically solve the use case for my particular friend. Thank you.